Oh goodness.
Oh wow. Jesus.
I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Okay, I'm a little shaken after that run. There was a 30-second PB and then 20-minute run.
Dude, congrats.
Yeah, GG, dude.
All because like one of the top runners. Yes. I think. Let me check. Let's go to speedrun.com. Oh, they moved this to commentary.
Yo.
Sweet.
All right, I'm gonna give you a countdown, Tog, and then I'm gonna deafen the rest of the run.
Oh, okay.
So just give me 1 second.
Yep.
I'm just gonna find out what's next. What's next, Kyrat, after this? No, nice. It's a nice name. Hello, NGR. By the way, his Twitch doesn't have an underscore.
Yeah, I typed that in the chat, but no big deal.
That's fine. I mean, yeah. If I look up GD, you'll probably be the first thing that pops up. I just realized I'm still streaming.
That's a
Oops.
problem. Anyway,
That's not a good thing.
I'm ready whenever, so count me down.
Okay.
Alright, you want to get the countdown?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Let's go.
Alright.
All right. So I am going to first introduce my commentators. Today I have King Joe, who you obviously know from the last run, if you were here. And I also have with me the actual 80% world record holder for Celeste, who goes by the _SR. You might know him. He's kind of okay.
I'm a man.
Okay, well, I'm learning things. Okay.
What's up, guys?
Alright, so this is Celeste. This is a precision platformer released this year, and it's a little good. It's pretty amazing.
It's a magnificent game in my opinion.
It's my favorite game of all time. I'm just saying.
It's definitely in my top 3. I'm not gonna lie, and that's saying something.
Shots fired. Okay. So, he just got through prologue, and you'll notice that he was jumping a lot. Each of those jumps that Madeline does, it actually boosts her a little bit, and I think it saves like 2 frames per jump. So in the total of that prologue, he saved like a second.
So you notice pretty much right away that Tanner is utilizing this dash that the bird taught him. Thanks, bird. Right away. In order to provide and conserve momentum through techniques known as hyper dashing and dash canceling, as well as wall bouncing by dashing vertically up against the wall and jumping.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing a lot of hypers and a lot of ultras coming up soon, and wall bounces as well.
I'm not too concerned with death count. I just want to show off what I can show off, and the strats that I know how to do, because my estimate is pretty high compared to my PB.
Wants to donate like $100 per death.
Isn't that that sounds like something you would do?
So yeah, as you see, he's already using a lot of hypers and some wave dashes, and these make the chapters go by a lot quicker. And every kind of dash, like every sort of dash cancel and hyper, they can be done in reverse, so going one way and then changing direction last minute.
I actually did do that earlier, and that's the one section I just had trouble with for whatever reason.
Yeah, I saw that.
That one trick, by the way, there's a 3-frame window to actually dash over the spikes, so that is a pretty difficult trick after doing a reverse hyper. So it's very, like, chapter 1 is actually like one of the more technical chapters, to be completely honest with you, even though it's so short.
Yeah, and he did a spike jump just there where he wall jumps off the very edge of the spike platform, and that just makes him being able to skip up top. And right there we saw neutral jumping at the end of chapter 1. Neutral wall jumping is when you wall jump and you don't hold any direction, so that you wall jump closer to the wall, and so you can climb the wall without losing any stamina. And yeah, Pocket's right. It is in-game timing that we go by on the leaderboards, but we're obviously using RTA for the marathon.
Tanner's actually just traveling through time, so his timer still says 0, which is
Yeah, and obviously you can see this is chapter 2, so you can see a lot of ultras being used to skip rooms that were not intended to be skipped in certain ways. And you saw that in that cutscene. It was a little bit ago because we're in a delay, but he actually did a glitch where because like in this game, when you enter a cutscene, the game stores your y-axis, but it doesn't store your x-axis.
Because screw the x-axis.
Yeah. So
yeah.
He activated a cutscene when he was super high up above the ground, and it just making him appear in that dream block. And dream blocks are these blocks that he's dashing through. And he's currently in the battle line chase right now, and basically she moves 3 seconds in delay, but she does your exact movement. So if you ever played like Super Mario Galaxy, basically like the Cosmic Clone.
Yeah, generally the battle lines don't really come into play that much, except for this screen and the second to last screen of the chase. Other than that, it's pretty simple for a speedrunner to actually outrun them.
Yeah.
It's very rare you'll see a speedrunner actually die because of battle line in that room, or in any section of that chase, really. Most deaths occur because of just, mistimed jumps, anything along those lines. More runner mistakes than actually, like, where battle line's positioned.
Yeah, and shoutouts to NGR crew who actually switched the timer over to the in-game timer.
Sweet. That's
so
awesome.
That makes the estimate even more or less of a big deal for you.
And that actually, if my movement had been a bit more clean there, that would have been an ILPB. My ILPB for that is 203, and I just got a 203, so it might have ILPB'd by milliseconds, but I don't think so.
Nice.
But regardless, yeah, that was a good chapter too, for sure. Now here is where all runs come to die, in my opinion.
Yeah, so chapter 3 is it's a cycle-based chapter, and you'll notice these dust bunnies moving up and down in circles in different patterns to try and kill you, basically. So it's up to the runner to decide how they want to try to avoid these cycles. There are certain strats that are more advanced. See what Tanner decides to do. By the way, by Tanner, I'm referring to GDTog.
Yeah,
I know him as Tanner.
Most people know me as Tanner, so if you want to refer to me as Tanner, feel free. I actually prefer going by my first name on Twitch. Don't ask me why. It's just like something that happened over the years. I was like, man, GDTog's a really lame name, and I don't even play Geometry Dash anymore. So I was like, call me Tanner. So everyone knows me by Tanner.
How do you think I feel? My username is literally my school login when I was little. So there you go. But also, these Dust Bunny cycles, they have 2 different cycles. One for if you die in the room, and one for when you enter the room. So generally, speedrunners will be learning both of the cycles in case they happen to take an unfortunate death. And sometimes it can just happen out of nowhere. Sometimes your dashes just don't want to work the right way.
There are occasions as well where I'm not sure if it happens as much anymore. Actually, I think I saw we actually have a community tournament, an 80% tournament going on right now in the Celeste community, and one of the runners, his name is Berto Prey. Shout out to him; he's a super cool guy. I actually saw him in one of the rooms. I don't remember when it was. It might have been at the start of the tournament, but I actually saw him actually kill himself at the start of the room to get a death cycle in a room because he was more comfortable with the death cycle. That is something you can do as well. I don't do it in any of the rooms because I know the entrance cycles better than I know the death cycles for almost every room in this chapter.
Yep, that is a legitimate strat, especially in one room in the Oshro section. I know a lot of people like to retry to reset that cycle.
Yeah, the very last room, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
I actually saw somebody do that in like the 3rd room of Oshro today in a race in the tournament. I was like, wow.
Interesting.
Oh, really? I never heard of that.
It's the one right before the one with the lock switches, the 4 lock switches.
Oh.
Anyone want to touch on the spike jump I just did by chance? Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to go
yeah, sure. So, a fundamental property of spikes in this game, it's actually not a glitch, but you can actually move through spikes if you're moving in the same direction as they're pointing, and that's what Tanner did there. He basically just like moved in the same direction as the spikes and was able to jump off the wall at the same time. So it looks like he jumped right off the spike, but he actually didn't. He just jumped off the wall, and the spike essentially didn't have a hitbox at that point.
Yeah, and also this current part that he's going through right now, where he's hitting these 3 buttons, this is what we call the huge mess section, where you have to clean up the mess of the resort for Oshiro, who's the ghost who runs this resort.
We aren't even really cleaning it for him. We're doing it for our own goodwill to get a key to progress farther, because we just want to get the heck out of here as quick as we can, and we're kind of just helping him along the way.
Yeah, and you can actually do these buttons in any order, but we have to talk to Oshiro after each one. And he always has a set place after each one, after each time we hit a button. So we kind of just route it out so that we are closer to Oshiro wherever we spawn after a button.
Yeah, so we go bottom, top, middle, as you would have seen.
Yeah.
Now this next section, the elevator shaft section, is actually a little... I say it's probably as I die in the actual shaft. It's probably my weakest point in the speedrun. Because, I mean, there are a lot of really, like, I would say that the elevator shaft segment has probably the longest rooms in Chapter 3, aside from the Oshiro fight at the end. And some of the, like, I'm a choke king. Like, I love to choke in speedruns. So I'll be at the very end of a room and I'll die and I'll lose, like, 10 seconds to it. Which is why, I mean, and there are some spots in this segment where I do some really sketchy stuff, such as right here. But this is something that every runner does. We just refer to it as the Chapter 3 key skip. There's one in Chapter 7 as well. Basically, I did 4 combined hypers there, back to back, to basically just zip across that room, beating the cycle that the Dust Bunnies were on, getting the key, and the keys actually they don't disappear, or they don't return to their spawn point after you die, so I was actually able to keep the key, retry, spawn at the start of the room, and in turn save myself time, rather than dashing all the way back across that room.
Yeah, and like you said, we also do that in Chapter 7 later.
Although the time save in Chapter 7 is much more minimal than the one in Chapter 3.
Yeah, it's into like 2 seconds or like a second or something.
So here, by the way, Oshiro is actually chasing you off of his hotel.
Yeah, he's angry now.
Yeah, you left on a bad review, I guess. And yeah, so he gets really angry and tries to kill you, just like all hotel managers do when they get angry and when they. But anyway, so he's his movement is actually very cycle based, although it doesn't appear to be. He will charge at you at certain time intervals that increase as the level goes on and as the screen goes on. He'll charge at your y-axis, like when the lightning flashes, his y-axis will lock and he'll just charge at you. But now the level's over, and Tanner made pretty easy work of that.
Yeah, that was actually a very, very good Oshiro fight for me.
Yeah, and to give quick respect to what I said, as we were mentioning earlier, we're currently doing a Celeste any percent tournament, and I watched a match today where TGH was commentating and just let out that Yelp comment, and I was dying laughing.
The Yelp, okay, so the Yelp is actually not original. That credit for that goes to Duke Firebird.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh, that is something Duke would say too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I died there.
So he's in Chapter 4 right now, and a lot of stuff gets introduced in Chapter 4, like in the first 3 screens.
Yeah, it's really hard to go through.
Yeah, the first one is clouds, which are basically like trampolines. The lower they go, the higher they bounce you after you jump. And the next one is these turquoise bubbles, and they basically refill your dash, and they also push you in a direction and at the length of a dash. And then we have the wind, obviously, which is like the main staple of Chapter 4, and it can be kind of frustrating, but we learn how to use it to our advantage for most of the skips.
Wind in any speed game, like that I've, actually seen people run, usually is annoying rather than it is helpful. But in this run, there are some rooms where we abuse the wind to increase momentum and whatnot, and basically make things easier.
Yeah, the good thing about wind in this game, though, as opposed to maybe other games, is the fact that it actually doesn't affect your dash momentum. So you can actually just dash straight through the wind as if there were no wind at all, and the same goes for hypers as well. So runners use that to their advantage.
I just use that moving platform to give myself an extra bit of momentum to basically clear that gap that wouldn't be clearable by a normal extended hyper. Yeah, that's just like a lot of these rooms have these moving platforms, and there are quite a few that we just completely disregard, like this one here, as I do a reverse hyper off that and completely forget about that moving platform. So we're basically just
done, by the way.
we're basically just, you know, skipping a bunch of auto-scroller sections, because who needs auto-scrollers in a precision platformer? Get those
But yeah,
out of here.
That skip that was done with the platform, it can be kind of hard to get your first like few goes at it, but then once you get it down a few times, you get the hang of it pretty easily.
This room sucks. I suck at this room, but that was perfect. Ha! What do you know?
Nice.
Yeah, in the task, in that other like auto scroller room that he couldn't skip, there's a really crazy stretch of the task that is definitely not RTA viable, but it's insane.
Shoutouts to Devil Squirrel and KDT for making an incredible Celeste task. I definitely recommend you guys go check that out if you're interested in the speedrun. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff.
They showed it off at SGDQ.
Oh yeah, it was also at SGDQ. I forgot to mention that.
And TGH reacted to it with Cobra Mode. Which is, I just love his commentary for that. Like, he screamed so many times because he didn't believe any of it was happening. Yeah, so just heading into like the last few screens right now of Chapter 4, and we get introduced to snowballs, which are basically babier versions of Oshiro. They come from the other side of the screen, and they just don't give any warning of when they're going to come. But they also come in the same like time intervals that Oshiro does.
Yeah, there's some dude on the other side of the screen just chucking snowballs at you, kid.
For whatever reason.
Like a jerk.
I blame
I'm gonna
Theo.
imagine that now.
I blame Theo. It's Theo's fault.
It's Theo the whole time.
It's Theo throwing snowballs.
You're gonna climb this mountain before I am.
So,
Alright,
funny
and,
enough, Theo actually plays... Oh, pardon me as I cough. My throat's really dry, I apologize. I did not get a drink before I started this run. Not that I have time to take a drink during this run anyways. That's just how fast it is. Theo actually plays a pretty big part in the latter section of this chapter, which is Mirror Temple, and this is one of my favorite, if not my favorite chapter in the speedrun, but not in the game. My heart remains with Chapter 6 for the,
I'd probably agree with that. I love Chapter 6 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of really cool skips in this chapter.
This chapter is actually, it's much more technical than any of the other chapters, in my opinion, when it comes to just game mechanics.
Yeah, right now you're already seeing these red bubbles, and these are basically like the turquoise bubbles, but they just go in one direction all the way until you either dash out of it or you hit a wall or ceiling. And along with that, we're also going to be introduced to some nice friends that we'll be making.
Oh yeah,
we'll also have to run away from.
Lots of awesome friends in this chapter.
There's a lot of great friends we get to have. This chapter should just be called Friends, honestly.
Yeah, it really
friendly.
is.
You become so friendly with them that you become one of them.
Fair enough. And then you
It's
kill
true.
yourself with them.
What a magnificent storyline, people.
True bonding experience.
Also,
Oh god. That was...
Also,
I did not mean to do that, just a heads up. I didn't mean to do that. That was... I saved that. I saved that.
yeah, that was really well done. Very nice save.
So what Joe was referencing is about to happen here as we enter the mirror. Basically, you play as this Seeker for story reasons. Seekers are these things. And if you are interested in the story, like I said, pick up the game. Man, this game's magnificent. But it's basically just to give you a rundown of how Seekers work, in a sense, if you will.
It's really, honestly, like, fascinating game design, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like, this is the only time in the game that you'll play as something other than Madeline, so take advantage of it. Cherish that moment.
Not sure if I want to cherish being something as ugly as that.
Oh, what? He's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful on the inside, okay?
On the inside, he's like a bat with an eyeball.
He probably got bullied as a kid, and you're just making him feel worse.
You know what? I don't think he got bullied at all, because this is all in Madeline's head.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, okay, well, he got bullied by Madeline, okay?
Nah, I could see. I could see that, definitely.
So, coming up, we actually get to, get in rooms with them, and with these, what we call Seekers, as they're known. and they're gonna be chasing us, and we actually use them to our advantage to collect some
Oh,
of the
shoot.
switches, which are these blue switches that unlock the doors, and they collect them for us, so it actually helps us out a lot.
This is not what I wanted to have happen. Alright, we're gonna have to improvise here, folks.
I like to call this section the improvising section, because that's literally what it is for me.
Yeah, this room. If even like there's like almost a scripted way to do this room, but if just one movement mistake happens, it gets thrown all out of whack, and that was very well handled though.
Yeah, like that wall bounce was actually a very well done back up there.
I had to do something. So, coming up here, you're going to see me do something that we consider very simple. However, it skips a bunch of time, which is that. That little reverse wall jump right there, or that reverse dash jump, actually skips about 3 minutes of this chapter, because that big section you just saw me enter actually has a couple of keyholes, and you're supposed to take a red ball across that room. Oh, yikes. Okay. You're supposed to take a red ball across that room, because you're not supposed to be able to clear those spikes, and you actually have to go search for 2 keys, which is why it's called the search segment, and search skip.
That's why we call it search skip, yeah. And before, like, I think this was like one of the first skips ever found, and I always like freaked out when I found out. I was like, I'm gonna start speedrunning this game, and I looked up the world record, and it was like, what, 40 minutes at the time, and I was like, how? And that was why, because that skips so much of that section.
Yeah, it really does. Like, after playing it casually and then realizing that you can just do that, I was like, oh, that's neat. I wish I had known about that. I wasted, like, an hour of my life trying to find these keys in my casual playthrough.
And now,
Come on.
he's now in the Theo section. Basically, a lot of, like, this is, in your normal playthrough, this will probably be, like, the slowest part of Chapter 5, but you can speed it up, because if you hyper and you grab Theo in the air or jump after you hyper and grab him, you can keep your hyper speed. So you'll be seeing him do that a lot. There's one room in particular that it really helps out, and that's after, like, a moving dash platform.
Which I just did, as you were talking about it.
I'm sorry, again, delay.
No, I know.
Also, the Seekers can actually boost you a bit if you're in their explosion range.
I tried to exploit that in the 4th room there. It's actually a strat that I use. Rather than hypering across that room, I take the Seeker's bounce momentum, or the Seeker's explosion momentum across the room instead.
Yeah, it can be helpful sometimes for clearing rooms really quickly. Also,
and
nice,
that's
neutral wall jumping.
That is an
save there.
ILPB. That is an ILPB
Oh, nice.
for Chapter 5.
Nice. GG.
By 4 seconds. So, that was Deathless as well, which is very, very good. I can't remember the last time I did Chapter 5 Deathless.
Yeah, you had to do some improvisation too, so that also has, like, time to save too.
Yeah, exactly. So, Chapter 6 is my favorite chapter in the game. Both story-wise and gameplay-wise, because of the new things it introduces, and because of a little boss fight at the end you're gonna see. But we're gonna try a skip here called Lake Skip. Now, I can't guarantee you I'm going to get this. First try, are you serious?
Very nice. That skip is, you have 3
sick.
pixels to do that skip.
That's
Like,
incredible.
stupid hard that skip is, because it used to be frame perfect and pixel perfect, but there was a patch that made it slightly easier, but it's still not a walk in the park. That's really impressive. He was able to pull that on first try.
Yeah, and if you're running on, if you think you're like, oh, I can try this on Switch, that they don't update Switch, so that is still frame perfect. So you need to do Lake Skip.
Yeah, that was
that's why a lot of people run on PC.
That was my first actual, like, in an entire, like, a full run. That was my first time doing Lake Skip first try, so...
Oh, and in a marathon, too, to say the least.
Yeah, just to add on to that, you know?
Yeah, so this is, I like to call Chapter 6 as sort of like the revolution, the resolving part of the run. Because after this, all we do is climb the mountain. But this is where we really, like, solve the problem of the...
I have no idea whether that was a controller issue or not, but I just did not grab onto the wall there. For whatever reason.
Happens to me sometimes. He might have been facing to the right.
Can I
Sometimes it
hyper,
happens to me.
please?
Yeah. Alright,
I
so...
think when it happens to me, it's because I'm facing right.
That might have been the problem. I think I was facing right, actually, now that you mention
yeah,
it.
you were there. I just saw it now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So basically, Chapter 6, there's a really cool boss fight in this game. I still say it's like my favorite boss fight of any game, just because it's so cool how movement intensive it is. Which will be coming up too soon. It's a battle line fight.
It's definitely a different take on a boss fight, because it's like, rather than a health bar, you hit her a set amount of times in the room, and then eventually she breaks through the floor, and you proceed to the next room. Breaks through the floor of the wall, sorry.
Yeah, it definitely shows like how much time hypers and dash jumps save, because like when I didn't do any hypers and stuff like that, like I literally golded this split by like maybe 2 minutes after just doing a few hypers, and it's crazy. It really shows the movement in this game well.
So unfortunately I suck and I'm not going to be able to show it off, but on those bumpers there, if you're actually facing away from them, when you hit them, you get an extra boost, rather than, you know, just the normal boost that you saw me get there.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to pull off.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. At least, I don't think it is.
Yeah, and if he did it right, he would have skipped the second bumper in that room, so it would have only saved, like, a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's a minimal time save, for sure, but still pretty neat when you see it done.
Yeah,
so
and
we're...
now he's moving into
Yep.
Oh, were you gonna...
No, continue. No, go ahead.
So, coming up, he's doing some developer-intended strats here. They actually let these skips in, and if you decide to do these skips in this room where you fall through the spikes, there's a pretty good setup for 2 of them, but then the other one, there's a possibility of dying, and they don't have a checkpoint, so if you die there, you actually have to start this entire, like, long room over again.
I actually did get it deathless.
Nice.
No worries. So I'm gonna try a trick here called Battle and Boost. We're gonna see if I can pull this off.
Now, this is the most speed you'll see in the entire run.
This is crazy. Like,
Oh, I didn't get it completely, but I got it for the most part. Like, I got blocked by the last wall.
Yeah.
It's still cool to even show it off, like, a little
Yeah,
bit.
oh, you go absolutely flying. And if you watch the tasks, oh, that's an unfortunate death. If you watch the tasks, there are some crazy things, that the task does that are similar to that.
Yeah, funnily enough, Revolution actually did that, started doing some, like, task swag strats in the middle of his run, like, just...
Revo's
like,
insane, man. I love Revo.
Revo's great.
Shoutouts to Revo, too.
He did double bubble skip and just messed around.
There are so many people, and I'm not saying this to be, like, to knock myself off, like, a pedestal or anything, but there are some people who use much more, skill-intensive strats than I do. And I definitely recommend, if you want to see some really crazy stuff, go look at about the top 10 runners on the Celeste leaderboards, and some of the strats that they do are just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and again, this, like, when they were calling out for people to run things for this marathon, that was a couple months ago, so back then the world record wasn't even that optimized, but now it's down to like 30, 34, and it's pretty optimized now.
Held by yours truly, TGH.
And so yeah, as you will be seeing, he's using a lot of hypers and a lot of reverse jumps in this boss fight, just to make it go by a little bit quicker. And coming up, we'll be getting to what I like to call the temper tantrum phase, where they'll be throwing blocks at you. And basically, yeah, you just have to. We'll be using the momentum of the blocks to keep removing.
Oh my goodness, that's literally like a 12-second death right there.
Oh, I think I know.
Unfortunate. my controller didn't input a jump. It just input a dash, so...
Yeah, that room is also, like, extremely long, so taking a death there definitely wastes a lot of time. Yeah, so honestly, I think, like, a lot of the rooms in the battle line fight can be very, like, painful to lose time to, especially after a long sequence.
Yeah, there are a few very long rooms.
Sorry, this part of the game just, like, introduces a lot of long rooms. Like, you really notice starting around chapter 3 or 4, like, it just, some of the rooms just get brutally long, and the deaths get very costly, especially at the end of those rooms.
Yeah, you get your first taste of it at the end of chapter 2, in my opinion. The very last room of the battle and chase.
Yeah. I think the true, like, one of the true longest rooms come from either the Oshiro fight at the very end or some parts of the elevator shafts.
There are some very long rooms in Summit as well.
Yeah, which we'll be seeing. And, I mean, Summit makes sense to be super long because it's the last chapter of the run. Alright, so, I'm pretty sure you just finished up the
Yep,
fight,
I
right?
have my second dash now.
Yeah, so once you finish up the battle line fight, they rejoice together, and they...
Through the
with their
power of
combined-
friendship. Again.
With their power combined with friendship with yourself, with your depressing self, you actually get to dash twice. That's a life lesson, kids. If you ever are having a bad day and you just want to boost yourself twice instead of once, just channel your inner depression, and there you go.
Just goes to show that, you know, like, inner struggles can always be solved by just hitting himself over and over. Don't actually.
I mean, I was trying to think of something to say after that, like, closure. Do not listen.
What the
to
heck?
that.
That's hilarious,
So now we're
though.
moving into Summit,
Oops.
and
Okay,
basically
I'm...
we didn't.
Just give me a second here. My game's lagging. Okay, there we go.
Oh, okay.
I just took, like,
So-
2 really weird deaths there at the beginning of Summit Base. Whoops.
Oh yeah. So,
Oh my goodness.
What happened in Chapter 6 was Battle Line knocked us all the way down to the very bottom, like, inner core of the not core, but, like, to the very bottom of the mountain. And so this is us basically climbing all the way back up, and you'll be seeing sections from all different kinds of chapters. Every single chapter, actually. And at the end of each chapter segments, which is each, like, meter section, you'll be seeing a battle line section where, again, they use their Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movement to boost up the mountain together with the power of friendship.
So yeah, this, as you can probably tell, this section is based off of Forsaken City, which is Chapter 1, introducing the zippers again, and of course, like, the block textures, the brick and the metal.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about the zippers that much because he barely used them. So, like, now we have
Chapter 1 is just really fast, and it's, like, it's really hard to talk about things in Chapter 1 other than the movement kind of tech that we use.
Yeah, that's what we were basically talking about the entire time. Just talking about the dashes that you were using. But yeah, for the most part, I think that Chapter 7 is fairly easy up until we get to 1500, where there's a lot of cycles and a lot of stuff we need to talk about. But yeah, for the most part, it's fairly straightforward. Just trying to skip as many things as you can. As many platforms as you can, at least. I'm botching my sentences right now. So now we're moving into the 1,000 meter section.
Oh, wowzers. That is a death right there.
I love that death.
That is a death. Oh, this is a death too. Wow!
Oh.
How awesome.
We didn't talk about this in Chapter 2, by the way, but you can actually jump out of the green blocks, and it just gives you a little bit more of a boost out of them. You can also hyper out of them, which is, like, I think, is it in 1 frame or something?
Something's
It's not
crazy.
frame. It's pretty tight though.
Yeah.
It's tight enough to be risky.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky move, but you'll see a lot of top runners using hypers out of green blocks fairly.
I'm a scaredy cat, so I don't do it.
I don't blame you. Alright, so yeah, 1,000 meters is pretty straightforward as well. Again, like, I think when it really starts ramping up in difficulty is when we get to 1,500. Where we'll see a lot of cool movement. There's one room in particular in 1,500 that we'll be seeing. We'd like to call it the Ultra Room. And it's given a name for a pretty fair reason, which we'll probably be seeing.
Yeah, I actually just learned that strat like a week ago. The Ultra
perfect.
strat in that room, so yeah, I will be using it. Unfortunately, I don't do the second one. The second one is pretty tight for me, so...
Fair enough. And actually, at the end of this 1,500 meter, we actually decided to take a strawberry route. It's just faster than going the normal route that the game intends you to go.
Oh,
So,
that
yeah.
was really close.
And just for speaking what's coming up ahead, there's in 2000 there's going to be another R-Score skip that one says more time than the other one, but did, but it's also more difficult.
Oh crap! I don't know if I can save this or not.
Also,
Oh.
nice job on the ultra room. That was very well done.
Thank you.
Also, nice save there.
That was. I was scared that I was gonna run out of stamina and like choke on the neutral wall jumping or something, but that's fine. So that's arguably, in my opinion, and a lot of other runners' opinions, the hardest segment of Summit.
I completely agree.
I completely agree with that.
I know, as a casual player as well, that was by far the segment of Summit that I struggled the most with.
Yeah.
And that's saying something, because the segment I'm in right now, the 2,000 meter with the wind again, is pretty tough as well.
Yeah, and then later on when we get to 2,500 meters, a nice trick that is memed throughout the entirety of the Celeste community.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
called door skip.
Don't spoil it for them yet.
We won't spoil what it is.
I will try it. I will try it, but if I miss it once, I'm not going for it a second time.
Well, let's hope you get it.
Yeah,
in
let's
a marathon.
let's hope for the best. That would be nice.
You
I
can
got
be the
leg
third
skips,
person ever
so
to get it in a marathon.
Kappa.
You can be among the legends. You can be with YP and PGA to get it in a marathon.
I could be the third. I'll hold the bronze
Yeah.
medal for door skip.
Also, yeah. Also, I was originally supposed to be the runner of this game, but like at first it was GD who was sorry, I keep forgetting to call you by your
Oh, it's fine. I really it doesn't bug me that much. It's just preference, really. Like, people can call me
Yeah,
GD or GDTog or Tog, whatever.
Yeah. So we were kind of like fighting with NGR staff about who was gonna run this, because originally I was supposed to run this last marathon for this, which was in spring, right when this game came out, and I had like a 53 or something. So I was gonna run this game back when it was like less optimized and less strats were known. And then I submitted it again, and they decided to accept GD, and then I kind of fought for my right to do it again. And then as soon as I got my right to run this game again, I was like, you know what? Nah. I don't think I would be good at it.
Mad respect to you for actually giving me this run, because I wouldn't be having this opportunity to run this right now at this marathon if it weren't for you. So,
Yeah,
like,
and
thanks a
the main
lot.
reason-
I still felt
no
bad.
problem, like,
I still felt bad, but like,
you're doing a better job at it than I would, anyways. So like, I'm completely okay
Come
with
on.
taking this run.
come on, come on, come
He's
on,
doing key skip right
come
now, by
on,
the way,
come on. Today,
which is
today.
two spike jumps in a row.
There we go. Hey,
Nice.
that probably didn't save time overdoing it the normal way, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's actually pretty tight to pull off.
Yeah.
It's kind of an unintuitive skip at first, because a lot of people don't realize that it's just the trick is to hold 0 directions for that, and just do 2 normal like neutral jumps off the wall.
All right, here we go, baby. It is time.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I
All right,
botched that
let's do
actually, so let's try it again. No, I'll do it one more time. One more time.
And here we go. He's trying it.
No, that's it. I'm not doing it again. I screwed up on the first door like twice, so that's a sign that I'm not going to be able to get it.
I actually think the first door is a harder one, in my personal opinion.
I think the second one for me, because it's like you get the first one and then you're like, oh no. It's the
It's
whole
a pretty good setup.
the nervous
for,
aspect.
door skip.
Oh my gosh. What the heck?
For the most part, there's a pretty consistent setup for door skip. Or at least for your dashes.
Oh yeah, for your dashes, absolutely.
Yeah. But then you just kind of have to eyeball it and just kind of guess. So, you do die at the very end.
Oh my god. What was that? That's never happened to me before. Let it be known right now that I've never done that before.
It's
Everybody
weird
welcome
it's weird that this is even possible, to be honest with you.
Oh my
Welcome
goodness.
Welcome everybody to Celeste, which is a precision platform.
That's
Also,
hilarious.
I just saw it. I have never seen that in my life.
Yeah, I've never seen it before either. I guess I've...
That,
Communities first!
hey,
Yay!
we can say the famous line. That's never happened before. So. And I think I speak for everyone when we say that has never happened before.
Alright, so feel free as I hit each of these flags to count down in chat.
Yeah, this is like where chat goes crazy, so count down the flags, please. And this is 3000. This is basically the final climb, where we climb Madeline Mountain.
Silence.
I'm glad I got nothing from that, you know?
Hey, chat might have your back.
I purposely didn't laugh to not encourage it.
I'm glad you did, actually, that made it better. It's just a meme to call, like, I get asked this a lot, like, is the reason this game called Celeste is because the girl's name is Celeste? Yes, definitely.
That is a running joke, by the way. When someone asks, is the main character's name of the game Celeste? Everyone always says yes.
Yes, it is.
But her real name is Madeline.
We're climbing Madeline.
We're climbing Mount Madeline.
Not even Mount Madeline.
Just Madeline.
So, basically 3,000 meter is split into 3 sections, which is the downward wind portion, the upward wind portion, and then the neutral portion.
I blew through the downdraft, so I apologize you didn't get much time to talk
fine.
about it.
It's basically just being pushed down to the ground.
It makes gravity, like, more intense. That's the way I like to put it.
The upwards wind here.
Oh my goodness.
We're really floaty.
Unlucky 13
And,
right there.
Yeah, 13 right there. That's the worst one to die on. By far, that's like especially because like you're nearing the end of the run, and this is like what I think is the hardest flag in the game. And
Oh my goodness! I just do it twice.
No.
I've never.
Pixel 2.
Yeah, it's the same. That was like the same frame. Oh my goodness, Tanner, come on. All right, silence.
Need focus.
Oh, I had to readjust myself. I was going to hit the exact same pixel again. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
That was so close. But we're good.
Lucky 13.
So I'm surprised actually that you're gonna see here in about. There it is. That's my PB right there, 37:32. I have no idea how I'm this close to my PB. This run has been absolute garbage compared to what I would like it to be. But like, this is still a good time. So.
Gold, what was it? You golded Mirror Temple.
Yeah, I did gold Mirror Temple, and I almost golded Chapter 2 as well. So.
Nice. Oh yeah, you did gold up by like a few milliseconds.
Yeah. So this is the last section where everything's all calm now. No more wind to worry about. Let's see if we can get a flag 1 choke in here.
Seems to happen every once in a while.
The best strat.
Flag 1 isn't even that hard. It's just like at the end of the run, you kind of are exhausted, so you're like, you just don't think, and it just happens.
Yeah, and sometimes you get really shaky because you're like on PB pace or something, and you just do something ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. That I actually, in one of the tournament races, I PB'd on a flag 1 death as well, and I actually mentioned in the Celeste tournaments Discord, I was like, I hope DGH is proud of me.
And time. time.
GG.
Well, I mean, they're using in-game time for
Yeah.
me, so.
38.936 with a 12-minute summit. That's not impressive at all, but the time itself is pretty good, not gonna lie.
It was a good run, dude.
Very nice, man. GG.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
Alright.
So
I think next up is the last run of today, which is the Sonic CD run.
Ooh, I wanted to stay around for that, actually. I'm very, very interested. Sonic the Hedgehog is literally my childhood, and Sonic CD was the second video game I've ever played, actually, so I will definitely be sticking around for that.
Nice.
So, make sure anyone who's here stick around for the next run. I'm sure it's going to be very, very exciting. Sonic the Hedgehog games are built to be played fast, so that'll be exciting. And thank you, all of you guys. Thanks, Joe and Teach, for the commentary, and thanks to everyone at Next Gen Runners for making this happen. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
And thanks for putting on a great run, too. Like,
It was fun, dude.
It was pretty good.
It was fun. Thank you for letting me commentate.
Yeah, same here. At least I got to do something with this game for this marathon after handing it over. So thanks for letting me in, man.
No worries.
But I was just kind of here. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I like offered him the bonfire. I gave him the torch. Take. I'm like, I'm not gonna, like, if I do a bad run, I don't want it to be under my name. Here, take it.
There you go. Well,
And you did way better.
at least I
than
didn't
would've ever
disappoint
done.
myself, so that's what counts. Anyways, yeah.
You did. You made us proud. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Alright.
How many deaths was that? 32? Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Alright.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm gonna be heading.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get things
heading over
moving.
to Sonic City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Pass it over to Sonic City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
I'm gonna move Jasper in here now.
Alright, bye guys.
See you later.
See you guys.
See you guys. Alright, so we're gonna get on with Sonic CD real
Oh, yeah,
quick.
moved here.
Yeah.
Let me do a couple
I figured it might as well.
and we'll
That
get
wasn't
right back.
terrible.
Let me just turn off the stream first.
No, it was good.